and welcome to LSU at the Voice of College Football Network. I'm your host, Grant Sasheray, and this is the Go Time Podcast. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, it's for free, and make sure to click on the bell so it will notify you whenever we release a new video, we have a new live show, or any of that sort of stuff. But also, we have our live show 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we talk about various topics regarding not only LSU football, but also LSU basketball and LSU baseball as well, or any of the hot topics going around LSU at the moment. Uh, well, also, this is the Go Time podcast, and this isn't as long as the live show, but this is a little mini video about a very important topic that needs to be discussed, and also didn't make it into the main show because we try to keep it an hour long, right? We don't want to go over an hour. We try to keep it an hour, so we don't have you guys on here all night. But anyway, that's not what you clicked on the video to talk about all that stuff. You clicked on the video because of the dramatics, right? And I'm sorry if I scared y'all or for being over dramatic, but it's kind of important, right? And that's the next two recruiting cycles for LSU. And this is something that me and Zach have harped on a lot, right? You have to recruit well if you want to win games in college football, especially when you're in a state like Louisiana, which, by the way, if you go off the statistics off of this draft class, out of all the states, including California, Texas, and Florida, and Georgia, the state of Louisiana had the highest per capita of NFL of guys who were drafted into the NFL. It's up there. It's been confirmed. I'm not making this up. Go look it up. The NFL.com did some research. Louisiana had the most draft picks per capita, and that's saying a lot considering how small the state of Louisiana is. So when you have two recruiting cycles that are full of talent, and look, I know Louisiana has talent every year, but this is ridiculous. So first and foremost, let me tell you why this is very important. So according to On3, there's 3 5-star prospects: Lamar Brown, Richard Anderson, and Blaine Bradford. Richard Anderson's already committed to LSU. Lamar Brown is favored to go to LSU, but we all know this. Anything can happen. And, of course, Blaine Bradford is committed to Ohio State. He committed to Ohio State about a month or two ago, but that recruiting battle is still ongoing, right? Because nothing's set in stone till pen is signed to paper, which is early signing day, which probably was when Blaine Bradford will make it official where he's going, right? It's just a commitment. It's not an actual declaration. Oh, I'm going there and playing. I'm going to wear the scarlet and gray. No. It has to be signed pen to paper. There's 5 prospects in the top 100, and there's 8 in the top 200. And to kind of show you guys what the class of 2026 is looking like in the state of Louisiana. Let me pull this up for you guys. This is 2027. Let me get to 2026. So Lamar Brown, Richard Anderson, Blaine Bradford, already mentioned those guys. Jamar Mack is already committed to LSU, 4-star wide receiver out of Deshaun High School, not too far from the city of New Orleans. Aiden Hall, another 4-star safety. He's from Endicott High School, which is in the city of New Orleans. And LSU's made a killing of getting commitments from Endicott High School. Richard Anderson is his teammate at Endicott. And, of course, star wide receiver Aaron Anderson, the team's leader in yardage and receptions, he also went to Endicott. And actually, before he ended up going to Alabama at a high school, he was committed to LSU, but he decommitted when Ed Orgeron, of course, got fired. But then after Aiden Hall, Bryson Martinez, LSU commit. Kenny Darby, LSU commit. Offensive tackle. Bryson Martinez, wide receiver. Kenny Darby, both 4-star prospects. Yeah, so of the top 10, 5 are committed to LSU. JaMychal Garrett, of course, he for starters, he's not going to Endicott High School. That's kind of a they need to fix that. But he's going to Central High School, which is in Baton Rouge. And remember, JaMychal Garrett is originally from the state of Alabama, hence why he's committed to Auburn. Ja'Kai Anderson, we already talked about his situation, was originally an LSU commit, but flipped his commitment from LSU to SMU, which makes sense, right? Because LSU's receiver room is stacked in terms of commitments. Plus, it might be more beneficial for his career to go to a school like SMU, who, by the way, made the college football playoff last year and was nearly a 60-yard field goal away from winning the ACC championship in his first year as a member. So and SMU's got a lot of money, so there's a lot in that NIL incentives as well. But you start going down the list, of course. Roger Tizino committed to USC. Hayward Howard recently committed to Texas, not like a week or two ago. So there's some more talent right here in the class of 2026. And look, I know, and things could happen, right? We're just hitting the summer, and like I said, and I've said this before. If I haven't said this before, I'm going to say it now. These rankings will probably change near the end of the summer. And the reason why I say that is because, remember, Dominique McKinley was a 3-star prospect the summer of the spring of 2023. However, he got bigger. He went to a bunch of camps, and bam, he became a 5-star prospect. So there's 3 5-star guys in the class of 2026. And there's a lot, and there's also, you got Jabari Mack, Aiden Hall, some other blue chip recruits as well. So this is a very important class. Like I said, you still want to get the top recruits in this class. You want to try to land the commitment from LeVar Brown. He's the number 1 athlete in the country. He plays both ways on the offensive line and the defensive line at U High. So he's definitely a commitment you want to pick up, because I think he can be an asset on either the offensive line or the defensive line, depending on where the coaches want to put Lamar Brown and where he's needed. But also, like I said, who knows what, for example, Chris Adson's ranking could be at the end of the summer, right? 6'5", 220. He could be, if he gained 20 pounds and also he had some great camps, his rankings could skyrocket, right? Especially if he starts getting offers from big-time schools. Right, and I also want to mention this too. Even if you're a 3-star, even if the guy's a 3-star commitment, but he's got offers from LSU, Alabama, Texas, and Texas A&M, that means that guy's a stud, right? That a perfect example. That's Ahmad Burrow. Ahmad Burrow was only a 3-star recruit, guys, but he got some big-time offers, including one of them was LSU, and a couple other SEC schools. So just because the guy's a 3-star doesn't mean he's actually just not as good as a 4 or 5-star. Right, you got to look at the schools that are offered to him. But 2026 is very important. But the really important one is 2027. In 2027, according to On3, there's 5 prospects in the top 25. 5. And if you look at the class of 2026 and On3, 5, it was around the low 30s where they stopped giving guys 5 stars and started giving them 4 stars. So by next season, the guys who are rated as 4 stars will end up being 5 stars. So really, technically, you have 5 5-star prospects in the state of Louisiana. That's nearly unheard of. And look, of course, a lot of things can change. The rankings can change and whatnot. But that's what you have right here. Zion Forstall, who's a beast, by the way. I've seen him play in person. He is a beast. Elijah Haven, who's considered to be the number 1 quarterback in the country. And some even have him as the number 1 prospect in the country. The Dunham School out of Baton Rouge. Ahmad Hudson, tight end out of Ruston. Easton Royal out of Brother Martin High School. He's a 4-star right now, but he might be a 5-star wide receiver for all I care at the end of this year because, like I said, on 3, they usually stop their 5-star rankings around the low 30s. Easton Royal is the number 17 prospect in the country, so I'm going to give him a 5-star. And Albert Simeon, who's had a lot of interest from LSU, and LSU's made a push to try to gain his commitment down the line. Albert Simeon is the number 25 prospect in the country, the number 1 interior offensive lineman in the country, and 5th in the state of Louisiana. And then you also have 9 prospects in the top 100. I also have to talk about Peyton Houston, the quarterback out of Evangel Christian, Braylon Calais, the receiver out of Cecilia High School in southwestern Louisiana, right around the Lafayette area, Malachi Ziegler, the quarterback of Benton, Louisiana, which is right outside Shreveport. He's the 95th in the country. And, of course, Jaden Miles, the sophomore, the running back from Catholic High School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Of course, Catholics had produced a lot of studs throughout the years, but especially most recently as they become a state powerhouse program. Of course, and Catholic's known for producing a lot of great running backs. Warwick Dunn, Travis Minor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darius Guys, you name it. They're known to produce some big-time running backs, some of which have played for LSU. And also, there's 13 in the top 300, right? You also mentioned Karan Eugene. He's a safety out of Catholic New Iberia. He actually intercepted what would have been the game-winning touchdown pass from Elijah Haven. So he's a big-time player. He had like 8 or 9 interceptions for Catholic New Iberia last year. Jane Anding, who is the younger brother of Aiden Anding. He is a 4-star safety out of Ruston. And Raekwon Williams, who is a 4-star receiver out of St. Augustine High School right here in the city of New Orleans. Of course, that's actually not that far from my house. Brother Martin is like 5 minutes from my house, and St. Aug's like 6 or 7 minutes from my house. So, like I said, a lot of talented guys in the class of 2027. A lot of them are from New Orleans, actually. From looking at this list, a lot of them are from New Orleans, which shows you how talented. And what I mean by per capita, like I said, St. Aug and Brother Martin are 5 minutes away from each other. Jesuit is about 5-10 minutes. It's about 7-8 minutes from Brother Martin. Like all these high schools, like Jesuit. I want to mention Jesuit, Brother Martin, St. Aug are about 10 minutes away from each other each, right? They're not that far away from each other. Shaw and Endicott are both on the west bank of New Orleans. That's probably about a 10 to 15 mile radius. I don't think you guys realize how ridiculous that is. I mean, that's crazy. That just shows you what I mean by the NFL had the most guys drafted per capita. Louisiana had the most NFL draftees per capita. That's what I'm talking about. Some of those guys are about 5-10 are playing at high schools 5-10 minutes away from each other. So if you're LSU, build the wall. Build the damn wall. Build a wall around this state. The reason why LSU was able to win as much in the early 2000s was because Nick Saban built a wall around the state. And Nick Saban said this multiple times. One of the biggest reasons why he took the LSU job was because if you looked at the rankings of the amount of players drafted in NFL per capita, Louisiana was always in the top 5. And this state probably has about 4 to 6 million people living in this state. And he said that's the reason why I want to take the LSU job. And he made damn sure that no one took kids out of the state of Louisiana for years and years and years. coaches around the country, especially schools like Michigan and Notre Dame, Miami, Florida State, you name it, have just poached kids from the state of Louisiana. And of course, it started with Jared DiNardo. Of course, he did a great job recruiting the state. He got Herb Tyler from New Orleans, and he got Kevin Falk to stay home. Kevin Falk was the number one running back in the country at that time. He got them to stay home, especially Kevin Falk. And Kevin Falk was the first person that made going to LSU cool, I guess you could say, in air quotes, cool. And so he was the first one to start. But Nick Saban signed, sealed, and delivered. He made sure guys stayed home in the state of Louisiana. He made sure. And really, also, he did a great job of locking down New Orleans. If you lock down New Orleans, nothing's gonna stop you. Like, absolutely nothing. And even when Nick Saban left LSU, of course, and then he went to the Dolphins for a couple of years and didn't work out. Then he took the Alabama job. But when he took the Alabama job, he started poaching kids from Louisiana. The good thing is Nick Saban's not there anymore, so you really don't have to really worry about that much. And I know, but if you're Brian Kelly, you have to lock the state down. Sarkisian. Texas is really starting to get in the state of Louisiana. They've taken Arch Manning. They took Derek Williams out of Louisiana. They've already signed. They already got Taylor Howard to commit to them. You need to lock down the state because guys like Texas and now Auburn are starting to dip their way into the state of Louisiana. Like, you have to lock this state down, and one of the easiest way to do that, of course, is to build relationships. But you have to win. You have to show recruits that this thing is here to stay, and you have to say. And the problem is, I would say stay consistently winning, but the problem is LSU's gone 8-4, 9-3 the last 3 years. You have to take that next step. You have to show recruits that you are going in the right direction as a program, which is going to the college football playoff every year and competing for a national title every year. But the problem is LSU has not done that consistently. You can make a case since the 2000s with Les Miles, right? Of course, you had 2019. You had some pocket years where they looked like they could be that team, but they haven't consistently been that team. When I mean consistently, I'm talking about Ohio State. I'm talking about Georgia. I'm talking about Notre Dame. I'm talking about teams like that. Alabama, although I'm not sure if Alabama is going to maintain that because Nick Saban built a damn monster over there. But you have to find consistency. Texas is trying to do that. You have to find consistency and become not only a team that is a playoff team, but a national title contender. You have to show that the recruits, especially the ones in Louisiana. You absolutely have to. That's the easiest way to build the wall. And these next two recruiting classes are extremely integral for LSU's success in times to come. You have to build the damn wall. You have to build it around the state. You don't want people coming in through land. You don't want people coming in through the air. You don't want people coming through the sea. You have to build the wall. You absolutely have to. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this episode of Go Time. Once again, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's for free. And make sure to click on the bell for any you'll get a lot of notifications whenever we release a new video if you click on the bell. So make sure to go do that. I'm your host, Grant Sastre. You guys have a good one.